Then.
Oh, people are on mute, but it's you. You can keep going, Raul.
Okay.
Good morning. This is PD. I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, so let's roll. Let's start the consent calendar of approving the minutes from April. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No? How many? Everybody say yes?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yes.
Okay, so minutes approved. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna start with Teresa first. Is Teresa there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning, Teresa. We're gonna start with you. I know I heard that you want to leave early today.
I want to leave early every day. When don't I want to leave early? Good morning, everybody. Thanks for adding me to the agenda. When I talked to Julie, we're going to be coming into the downtown. So I know this group touches a lot of people. So I thought it might be advantageous to both of us if we could, if I could provide an update to you all on the streetcar construction, because it is going to be coming to 4th Street very soon.
Thank you, Teresa. Go ahead, please.
So we've had a meeting out in a couple of field meetings. Myself, Julie's been involved, as well as others from the city, to talk about what it will look like when Walsh does make that turn at Mortimer and come down 4th Street. So the plan is for them to start between Mortimer and Spurgeon. That'll be the first 2-block segment. Then by contractual agreement, they have to skip the next 2 blocks. And then they can also have between Main and Broadway started with construction. So currently they are doing what we call ground penetration radar to check and see what exactly is underneath the street. We do have as-built from both the gas company and the water company. We did the water work and SCE, but Santa Ana, as we talked about before, is an old city, and there's a lot of abandoned piping and conduit underneath the street. So we want to be sure as we can be, if there's anything that needs to be moved out of the way that would delay the construction once they get the road open, that maybe we can take care of those things first. So that's kind of what's happening now. We've also, in our field meeting, we had the representative from the police department there. We've all agreed that keeping the pedestrians out of the street is important. So they're going to have crowd fencing on both sides of the street. So, and we'll have opening areas at the intersections. Walsh will put a bridge over the road, over the trench. Just to remind everybody, if you've been out at Mortimer, you can see kind of what it will look like. The first they open up a trench, they put all of the substructure in for the rail, they pull the rail in, they set it, and then they put, the concrete around it. So that is what it will look like. They're going to do, according to their schedule and according to what their plans are, the most recent conversations with them is there's a special track that has to be installed that makes that turn from Mortimer into 4th Street. Once they get that work set, then they plan to come into the downtown and close those two block segments that I mentioned before.
Okay. A question, Teresa, just to get an idea, how long it's going to take to do 2 blocks at a time? With all the problems that once you open up the trench, you don't know what's there, and just an idea,
Right. So the plan is it's going to take a while. We're going to be in the downtown for a year.
At least.
Yeah, it's about 6 months for each 4-block segment. So they plan to be down. They would have liked we've been talking about this before. They were initially planning on starting in early May.
Right.
they need to be, they know that there's the moratorium comes, you know, at Thanksgiving. Their intention is to try to finish this first phase of Mortimer to Spurgeon and Main to Broadway by the moratorium, by Thanksgiving.
Okay.
As far as we know, the work hours are going to be from between 7 in the morning and 7 p.m. at night. And there could be Saturday work, but the Saturday work is not, will be on a kind of a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So we've distributed a postcard to about a couple thousand addresses in the downtown. So we've taken a kind of a block of addresses between Mortimer and Ross and Santa Ana and down to First Street to give people a postcard that gives them what the detours will look like in the downtown, as well as a flyer that kind of explains the different phases of construction, so they know what to look for as they see progress being made.
Teresa, would you mind giving us a scan of the postcard so maybe we can put it in our different platforms?
Sure, good idea. Yes, I'll be happy to have Marissa from our team send that over to you. And again, so, you know, right now they're showing June 9th as when they would come in, set up their the traffic control. The city needs to, you know, check everything, and then they would start their excavation work. So that's what the schedule is showing now. Things are very fluid and things are changing. So as I get a firm date, then we'll go out with the blast. I'll share it with you, Madeline, as well as with the downtown group. So you know, when I, you know, as soon as I get it confirmed, I'm giving you kind of what they're telling me. What they're telling me changes a lot. So when we get a confirmed date, we'll share that with you.
Okay. Teresa, and also when you said about 6 months doing 4 blocks, would that be with all the work that they have to do with the platforms?
Yes, it includes the
lighting.
platform work as well. And it includes the poles for the overhead service.
Okay. Okay.
And God bless you. Your business is on fourth. I am really concerned. Excuse me, because we have our church where it's going by the church. It's taken forever, and working around the construction crews and trying to get in and out even to the church. I pray for your businesses. I truly do.
Thank you, Bobby.
What has happened in segment 3 and in segment 2 has kind of informed us as to what we can do to make segment 4 go faster. So segment 3, we discovered a lot of unknown utilities that did have to be moved out of the way. So we're trying to take kind of lessons learned from the other segments that we've been in to make sure that we are as efficient as possible when we get to 4th Street. We're all very aware of the challenges that it's going to bring.
Thank you, Teresa. Anything else that you have to share, Teresa?
No, I think that's about it, unless there's any other specific questions.
Yeah, if anybody has questions, go ahead.
It's
Go ahead, Senora.
oh, I was just gonna say my thoughts. It's gonna be very hard. It is going to be very, very, very hard for the downtown.
Great.
Amen.
Yes, I think it's gonna be worse than COVID.
Yeah.
6 months will go fast, and then we're going to have a beautiful city.
It is
Don't
6
depend
months.
on that 6 months.
It is 6
for this
months for every 2 blocks, right?
Right. It's 6 months for this first 4 blocks. Yeah. And then after, in January, we'll come back and finish the remaining 4 blocks. So then we'll go, you know, then we have to go Ross to Broadway and those mid blocks between Main and Spurgeon. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot. I'm not, you know, yeah. I don't want to sugarcoat it.
It's not against you. It's just the project. It's just very slow, very slow.
It is.
God bless you for putting up with hearing us.
No. I appreciate your patience, and you have been very gracious, you know, throughout all of our exchanges. And I wish I had better news, but I think you all know me well enough by now that I'm going to bring to you, I'm going to be candid with what I know and share information that I think will be helpful to you. And, you know, I'll be there with you guys while it's going on. I know that's not my business at stake, but I do understand how personal this is to all of you. So thank you for the time this morning.
Thank you, Teresa, for all the updating. Thank you.
Okay, I'll probably just be listening, but I'll turn my camera and my mic off for now.
Okay,
You know,
thank you.
One thing I think might be important too, as a board or as somebody who wants to promote the downtown, is I think that it is going to be a very painful year, but we really have to be, I think, very positive about the future that this is going to bring to us. And I truly believe personally that though there is pain in the short term, the long-term gains of this trolley will be immense and really secure our future, much more so. You know, I think it's just really going to bring the downtown into a whole new realm of possibilities. So I think, you know, as we can, you know, we don't want to focus solely on the negative, but also want to, you know, as we're talking with business owners and retailers and they're getting discouraged, I think we want to try and also, you know, point out the real positives that they're coming up with this, this streetcar, which is going to be possibly just a total boon to all of us.
Well,
Yes.
and you also have you have the Toll Brother project that's coming in, you know, at the old First American Bank building. That'll be under construction, and we will both be wrapping up our efforts. Well, we'll be putting the streetcar in service about the time they're finished with their building. So there will be a lot of changes, a lot more people in the downtown for sure in the future.
Yes, it will. Yeah, our city is going to look gorgeous when all this is finished, and we just have to be patient. It already started. We just have to wait and see.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you again, Teresa.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Okay, so now let's move. It's Julie there.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Julie. I think I want to put you second there, and
Sure.
And go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Julie Castro Cardenas. Good morning, everybody. I'm the City of Santa Ana Downtown Liaison, and just want to go over a couple of different items with you, just little updates on the city side. June 15th continues to be the date that the state of California and the governor's office continues to talk about business getting back to normal, and there's even information about us not having to wear a mask. So we shall see. I did also hear information from the County of Orange stating that they were going to come up with a green tier to outline guidelines for special events. So we'll see if the county is able to push that out before June 15th. So the reason that I continue to talk about June 15th and the reason that it's important to talk about this now is that I want to make sure that everybody is aware that the special events permit application process is now open and available. If there's organizers that are interested in having special events throughout the downtown or throughout the city, they would need to fill out that special event application form and then email it to Bill McGovern. And so he will vet that through. And so that includes any, sidewalk sales, street closures, parking lot reservations, things of that nature. Moving on is the film permits. The film permit is something that is overseen by Parks and Recreation. I believe there's a small fee to the film permit, but you would need to get some sort of film permit when you have obviously any filming going on in the downtown or throughout the city. I can provide that application to you guys in the future should you need it, or any organizer that needs it.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
The last thing that I wanted to tell you, or two more things. Business licenses are coming in, which is good for Santa Ana Business Council and Downtown Inc., because that means that revenue is coming into the businesses and they're able to pay their taxes, their business license tax, and for the downtown specifically, they're able to pay their business improvement district fee. And those fees go directly to the Santa Ana Business Council and Downtown Inc. There's a 50-50 split there. Most years, both organizations receive about $100,000. And, you know, we do anticipate it being less than $100,000 this year because of the pandemic last year. But so far, it's been a steady flow of those business improvement fees coming in.
Good. Good news. Good news.
Yeah, and Senora Arellanes and Raul, I did get the invoices and I will be processing those soon.
Thank you.
And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is the 1 hour grace period. Thank you, Santa Ana Business Council, for providing that letter of support in support of the 1 hour grace period that, you know, really showcased the importance of keeping a grace period, but also knowing that we needed to generate the revenue in the parking garages in order to help, you know, sustain programs like the Clean and Safe program. Hopefully in the future, we can bring back the merchant agreement fund. And I'll be able to give you guys some numbers and some report, an update on the parking revenue. I want to say in the month of June, because then we'll see what the impacts have been with the 1 hour grace period versus the 2 hour grace period. And that's it for me, Raul.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Right now that you mentioned the letter to the city manager, I want to share with everybody that I forgot at the beginning of the meeting. I was so excited to start the meeting, and I totally forgot about letting them, all the board members, that a letter was sent to the city manager regarding the millions of dollars that the city has, and the letter was sent to the city manager, requesting and sharing with the city manager all the things that are needed in the downtown. So we got a response from the city manager, and everything is going forward. So soon we'll find out what money is going to be spent in the downtown. I just want to share that with everybody.
And then just to piggyback on that, Raul.
Sure.
So there has been positive revenue each month from the parking garages and from the parking meters. Okay. Not quite at the level that, you know, we would want or need, but it's better. You know, it's better than being in the negative.
Yes.
And certainly I've heard both groups and the business community loud and clear that the priority for parking revenue expending is security and safety. So for example, yes, security guards for the structures, for the downtown. And then with regard to safety, I know that there was, you know, there's always requests for better lighting in the structures, better services in the structures, cleaning, all the like basic things. So I'll make sure to program those in as a priority.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you. That will be a plus.
Anything else, Julie?
That's it, Raul. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move to the next item. Senora Arellanes, you want to go ahead?
Yes, yes, I just, most of the stuff will be covered by Madeline and Claudia Nafa, but I just wanted to let everybody know that we will start dancing on the streets on the first Saturday of the month of August, which is August 7th. We don't know if Downtown Inc. is going to start the whole ARWAC yet, but we will definitely seek the, look for the necessary permitting to use the Spurgeon Paseo and the Callejón del Beso. So Santa Ana Business Council will start with those two events. I mean, we'll with those two spaces activated the first Saturday of every month moving forward, starting August 7th.
Okay. I want to tell you, Julie, that Senora, that I spoke with Bill McGovern yesterday, and I have an appointment next Tuesday to take the application for the sidewalk and also Callejón del Beso. So
can I add a little note for the alleys? So I did a walkthrough with the fire marshal and the chief of fire, and they basically told me that we can activate the alleys, but you can't put things that would obstruct the alley. Tables, chairs, DJs, easels, canopies. That can't be in the direct line of the alley. You have to keep 20 feet clear in the alley, but they're okay with people dancing, walking, you know, viewing things. That is okay. That's a big step. So let's try to not, you know, go against their requests, because they're already being gracious.
That is exactly what we're trying to do. And in fact, we were thinking of doing on the Callejón del Beso, apart from the art, the murals, and also the artists that usually hang their art in the alley. So it is for people to go and walk, and as you said, to dance. And we were thinking that Callejón del Beso will be amazing for tango dancing because of how it is, that it is kind of dark, not really, but it is. And that brick walls, you know, they add a very interesting character to the area. So we were thinking of probably doing another day of the month for tango dancing in that area, but we will see. We need the DJ that really knows how to play tango and really instruct people, as we have done with the salsa and the bachata over here, because they do get a half an hour class before the dancing starts. And so that has brought to the downtown actually dancing clubs that go around looking for these kind of places where to dance. So it will be very exciting. Thank you, Julie.
Okay, anything else? Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Julie. Thank you again. Okay, now we're gonna move to Magdalena, which she has a lot, and go ahead, Magdalena.
Hi, good to see everybody today. So the first off, I'm not sure if Maria is here today. I don't see her, so I'm just gonna go through this. We had our first business strategies meeting, and in the upcoming bid report, you guys will get some statistics that the girls put together about the specific, what people had a survey in the meeting. We have some also strategies for outreach for the next business strategies meeting. So that's begun, and we're glad to add this professional development workshops, which are added to the professional development that we have already for women, but it just adds another component of professional development for our downtown. You'll get updates on all of these things in the upcoming bid report too, so you'll see the details. The mural mapping project is continuing on its way. And I will bring Andrea to the next meeting so that she can report on that and share what she's working on right now. And I know that she also just recently became a commissioner at the Arts Commission, so we can also get updates about that. The next thing is the digital mapping. There's 4 components of this project, and you guys should be seeing, the board should be seeing within the next week, the estimates. The 4 components are, I know that Claudia did outreach to Julie to find out about which walls. There's probably going to be 6 different digital panels. So we need to know, and I know that Julie is waiting on specifics. And as soon as we get our estimates from the printer, of the panels, I'll be able to give you that information. I know that they're 18 by 30 is the size of the actual panels. We have a graphic designer to actually design the panels using aesthetics from the downtown. For instance, things like using some of the aesthetics of like the Santora Arts building and different things in the sign so that the sign goes along with what our downtown is. We noticed that the ones that are in Long Beach are, they're a little plain. So, and we have some great artists. So we're going to have a couple of sketches to be able to look at of those as well. One of them will be for shop and one of them will be for dining. And then the other component is that there's going to be a QR code so people can actually find out what is the different shopping that they can do and what's the different dining. So that component is a computer component where there's a group that actually holds that information and it can get updated because, as you guys know, the businesses turn around. So we need to have something that can be regularly updated and is easy to facilitate and actually lives beyond the person too. So like, for instance, if that group will be able just to get the information and be able to put it out each time there's a change so that everything is constantly current on the digital maps. So that's the other piece. So if those four things come together, then we will have some new digital signage. We'll find locations and we will have some beautiful requests that the strategic plan of the Business Council had. So that's my update on the digital maps. And if anybody has any questions around digital mapping, you can talk to me more about that. The next thing is we're having our annual Amiga Social Club. As people know, the Amiga Social Club is a woman empowering women in business and in life. And the workshops have begun again, which are great. That's another professional development group that we have in downtown. And we're going to also feature in the next report a few of our different local small businesses that are growing in downtown. So you'll be able to see more about some of the specific women and their products. There's some amazing things that people are creating here locally. Anyway, the next thing is we are looking at doing some kind of a music series because we have a donor who actually said that they would like to put forward money because they had seen some music like playing in the promenade. I think it was jazz. And they were like, that's really nice. It would be really nice to have music in other parts of the downtown, like buskers, et cetera, on a regular basis. And we noticed that other places like the Segerstrom Center for the Arts and others are doing their summer series of music. So right now a proposal is going to be coming forward as to what that would look like. And we don't have any of the details yet, but that will be shared in coming up. And I will email everybody with the proposal once it's in. The next thing is Porch Photography. We have a local artist who we are waiting to be able to program the Callejon de Beso with these beautiful porch photography that she did at the beginning of COVID of everyone throughout the city. So she went to families throughout the whole city of Santa Ana and did beautiful portraits of the families on their porches. And what we were going to do is we're putting this as a part of a kid-friendly city activation because we're going to be inviting all those families to come down and see their photographs. And she's doing a before and after COVID. Well, I mean, so she's going back around right now. And we were going to do this a little earlier, and we moved it back so that she could go through that process. And we were going to have Amigas and Mommies Unidos and all the different groups are going to come and assist with this essentially outdoor gallery showing, where we're also going to talk to parents about what they want to see in terms of kid-friendly city. So we're utilizing it in two different ways, where we get to share these beautiful works of art that showcase this community, and also be able to learn from families about more things that they want for their children in our downtown spaces, et cetera. So that is going to probably come up in August as well. Yes. So then we have a butterfly project. So something came down from the state and county level where what they were saying is they really need to help people be informed through graphic and art representation about COVID and safety measures. And as COVID ends, an artist was selected from Santa Ana College. And this artist is creating an installation that's going to be in the downtown for 6 months, or I think it's 6 weeks, sorry. I'm not sure the exact amount of time. But so a series of workshops also engaging community around the masking has been going on a regular basis in downtown. And we have families that are coming out and they're actually making butterflies, because the whole thing is surrounded by butterflies. So there's butterflies being made that as COVID leaves, the masks are being turned into butterflies. So essentially that's the theme, and it's the artistic theme. And they also have partnered with us to be able to go to all the lending libraries that are now throughout the city, so that part of this project also is in every neighborhood throughout Santa Ana. And the neat thing is that this project is going to get, it's a statewide. They're going to be writing stories and all these different things about the selected artists and the artwork that's being done in downtown Santa Ana. And the city, sorry. And then the next thing is co-design with nature. This was a project where local artists were granted $1,000 to be able to come up with a tool test, which is actually it's like a global tool test for Earth Day. And so many different artists throughout downtown came together and thought of different ways to showcase those designs, and put up things throughout downtown or created them to show different ways. One of them was a garden that was created in the downtown neighborhood. And there's many different things. You guys will be able to see the pictures that'll come out also with the bid report of all the different co-design with nature projects that happened in downtown. The grants, we did receive another grant. Joella actually has been sort of on hold right now. I'd like her to be reinstated. We did get another CARES Act grant for $15,000, which is coming up, but we don't have any idea when that funding is supposed to come in, because there's some kind of a backlog with their system. So we're just waiting on that information. And that will actually help us also to be able to continue working with our grant writer. And we also have to do our follow-up for the Boca de Oro grant that we received from the California Arts Council this year. So I really need Joella to be back and working. And we hope that also, because this grant also can cover cost of our employees, et cetera, administrative costs, it's great. So we're really happy to be able to get another grant for
Magdalena, is
yes.
this the first grant for the year, or
No, this is our third grant, Raul.
This year?
Third, no. For the year, we've had probably 4, I think it's 4 grants. I can actually give you guys an update on all the grants that we've received this year if you don't have that information right now. But no, this would be like our third grant that we've received that has to do with the CARES Act.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was for arts. This one is not an arts grant. It's an actual, it's like a business improvement district or business grant to help with administrative costs, etc.
Oh, okay. Let me know about the rest. Okay, thank you.
And I mean, we've been waiting. I've had to call in and give permission for her to call in on a regular basis to check on that, because we don't know what's going on their side, but there's some kind of strange backlog. It's a little different than some of the others. But the other thing is, we've both Ryan and I have been invited to speak at multiple different upcoming conferences. We just did one this week, which was online. There's one that's going to be in person called Walk Bike Places. So it's the Congress for New Urbanism was the one that we did yesterday or earlier this week. And then we have Walk Bike Places, which is happening in Indiana. And then there's also a Living Cities presentation, which we're going to be speaking at coming up. And everyone in Boca de Oro received congressional certificates, which is very exciting. And we're still working on getting them out to everybody. It was a very generous thing that the congression, Lou Correa did, and he created certificates for everyone. So just going on to old business, all of our lending libraries are now distributed throughout the whole city, all 64 of them, and we're getting back beautiful pictures from people who decorated their own libraries, and they're all being sent back, and it's really exciting. The other thing is we've sent out all of the thank yous to all of our partners, which is something that we have, we were able to send out thank yous that had posters, t-shirts, and thank you cards. We also were able to complete our phase of sending out all of our stipends and all of our funding to all of our folks who for being participants and bringing in artists this year and all of the artists. So the next thing is the Imaginology Festival is kicked off, and we really need to get the word out, because I saw they had a list. They're doing data showing how many people are actually coming to the scavenger hunt that we created in downtown, and there were 3 people on the list, and I saw Irvine had like tons of people coming to their scavenger hunt. So this week I just sent it to all of our social media going, we need more people to come to the scavenger hunt and find all these places and locations throughout downtown. And so that's something that's currently happening, the Imaginology celebration. And then Claudia Nafa, do you want to, or she's next, but I'll let her work on the.
Yeah, she went to take, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
No, Claudia Nafa, is she there?
Oh.
No? Okay, no, she went to take Eloisa to school. So I thought she was on the phone.
Okay, well then I'll just share that we have a new social medias person, as you know, and Maria is not here, but we were going to do a communication highlights. Most likely what I'll do is I'll have her put the highlights in a graphic so that we can put it in our bid report so that everybody can see how the numbers have changed since being here. There's a lot of great movement with both our Instagram and our Facebook page and our all of our different social media. Which is great. And we've been working out strategies, because one of the values that we have, I believe, is to make sure that rather than merely food, which we see a lot of on like Downtown Inc.'s page, that we're really showcasing the businesses. And so in order to do that, we needed to make sure that she has a list so that we're highlighting all the different sectors, meaning the dentists, the auto, and the lawyers, the, bridals, the hair salons, etc. So we're working on that because it's important, and it's a piece that we hold in Santa Ana Business Council. And
Maddie,
then
can I just say, I don't know if you have that. We did have the Spring Festival. That was one of Claudia Nafa's things to cover. We did have the Spring Festival the last Sunday in April. And then we did, on Mother's Day, we went on the street on 4th Street and we gave carnations to all of the mothers that were present that day.
And roses, I saw.
Yes, yeah, we did. And then she has something else that pertains to Boca, the reels on YouTube.
Yes, now that Boca is over, we have over 100 different presentations showing all of the amazing things that happened in Boca, and now they're going to be on a regular basis showcased publicly so other people can actually be able to see all of the amazing work of so many different people and be able to hear them. So so that just began. We have our intro went into the newsletter this week, and is sharing that fact, and so everybody can now witness and view it, and it's going to be on our YouTube channel. And that's something that COVID, while it's hard to have pivoted and gone digital, we now have everything digital, so it can be seen publicly.
So, Senora, going
Yes.
back to the art walk, August 8th and 7th, Dancing on the Street, you already covered that.
Yes, yeah,
When
yeah.
you spoke in Boca de Oro, and the Bridal Quinceañera Fashion Show.
That
Sunday,
one,
August.
That one, I know that she's working on the flyer and the forms that they need. They need a flyer. They should have it, I don't know, probably by the end of the week. And the forms that they need for the vendors. That's what we understood from what was sent. And
Yeah,
so I think it's going to be done pretty soon.
Yeah, with the flyer, they're already starting doing the preliminary flyer yesterday, and they are working on it. I think they're gonna do more, and then they'll choose the flyer, and I think it should be done by next week. I mean, it should be ready to approve next week.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and the census.
So the census.
You
go ahead, Claudia.
No, I know it's been. I know they're doing some, but I know it's been difficult, and they came up with another solution that they're going to put in place, like Maricela is going to go block by block. Actually, they're going to restart again. It's very complicated because some of them are closed, and we cannot finish, one block at a time. But they're getting there.
So what we're doing on this project is like our 796 campaign that we did before, where we're going door to door to really update everybody's information. And we're this time putting it in our CRM so that we can actually have all of that data at our fingertips to be able to do like mass emailing and stuff. So it's going to take a while for us to complete this project, but it's starting. And it'll be a great access to information and also to being able to be better at communicating everything. And there's one thing, Raul, that is not on there, but our fashion show happens within the next week. So we have Santa Ana in Design. The fashion show will be occurring. It's a digital fashion show this year that, again, it's a pipeline project where Santa Ana High School, Santa Ana College, and our downtown professional designers, as well as local designers, come together and do a presentation. And because it's digital, there's also been access to global talent as well. So it's interesting. And I haven't gotten to see anything yet. I've only seen little reels and part of it, but yes, it'll be coming up here.
When is this happening?
On the 28th of the month. It gets released.
May 28th?
And there's an Eventbrite that just went out yesterday for folks to sign up and get tickets. So that's another exciting thing happening right now.
Can you share that with me, Madeline? I didn't get the
Eventbrite,
and I'm very interested in that. Is Vic Carbona still leading that?
Vic is our main, yes. And it's
Thank you.
It'll be in the newsletter next week.
Okay, so that's it. Any questions for Magdalena?
I have a question. This is Sarah with Libra Mobile.
Who's this? I'm sorry.
Sarah Garcia.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I do want to know about the mapping project that you did with Okta, because since one of the things that we're focusing on about downtown is building equity for local artists, but the artist that was used was not from the region. And then Boca de Oro was placed over Libra Mobile's site, and that map was pre-released even though it wasn't finalized. So I'd like to know what was the process in reaching out to local businesses and doing that.
So,
Or local.
Sarah, to answer your question, it wasn't done actually in conjunction with OCTA. This was a project that the board had asked for some kind of a visualization of the downtown mapping. And what we did is we created a spreadsheet and put all of the Business Improvement District board from both our group and the Downtown Inc. group. And we went through and asked people what they thought. And what happened is for 2 years, I spent trying to find a local artist who could do a mapping visualization of downtown through, as you know, we have a registry of artists that's over like 250 different artists. And we did outreach, but what people told me is that it was very complicated. And the model that we found was one in Orange that has been done by someone where they actually were able to represent every single business in downtown. Well, after 2 years, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually look up people who do this kind of mapping. And I ended up finding a gentleman named Jim Helm. Jim Helm actually told me that it's easiest for him to do the visualization by picking, for instance, 5 iconic buildings. And since businesses, as we know, change over multiple times, they said that doing a map that just had the iconic buildings in downtown would end up being more timeless than, for instance, having every single individual business. So the group picked different businesses to represent in the map, and that would be like key points so that people, when they walk through downtown, would not get lost. And so it'd be like the Ronald Reagan building, the clock tower, the worst house was at the end of the block there. So different kinds of things, even though I don't think the worst house is in there. Anyway, the main point is, as I was telling him about different things, I actually stated, I was mentioning the festival Boca de Oro, and he actually made a draft putting that in the middle. And I said, actually, that's not a building or a thing. So can you please take it off of the map? And he did. But what happened was recently when the reason why you saw a map that was the draft map is because Claudia was asked to create a coloring map for kids in the Imaginology Festival. So she printed off the wrong map in terms of and the reason that she selected to use that map actually is because she thought it's more unfinished and it gives kids more ability to color on the map. So unfortunately, that is not the actual map. As you've probably seen, the actual map does not have a festival name on it. It actually just has the businesses, the buildings actually. And then the thing is that she printed a map, and then it caused whatever controversy that came out of it from your letters and emails, etc., to the city, which was not about displacement whatsoever. We think of you as being an asset to this community and also being an amazing space in this downtown. So none of the things that was mentioned are accurate.
And I think a clarification like this would have been more helpful than just ignoring the issue publicly, right?
I absolutely agree with you. And we actually just made a letter yesterday to Julie, because what I think happened is that there was a communication problem, because usually you should direct comments directly to the people who actually are being spoken to. And it's great to see you here today. But unfortunately, something else happened, and we gave an updated list because another request came in yesterday for a list of our different kinds of events and stuff from someone. And we have multiple platforms, and this is one of them where we'd love to be able to talk to people in person, and we'd love to be able to answer your questions directly. So typically, we would love people to use the platforms we set up rather than have to go through all these other channels that aren't actually us and they aren't directed at us. So, and I was hoping to actually be able to set up, and I can still set up a meeting with you, Sarah, to continue to talk, because I know that there's a lot of sense also that you've been left out of things. And I recall every single year for the first 3 years of Boca asking for your involvement in some way, shape, or form, which has been denied. So I just want to let you know.
Let's touch on that since you brought it up. The reason that I pulled out from Boca the first year is because I prioritized paying the artist. And folks were against that were part. And then decisions were made without everybody at the table of not going in that direction. And then on top of that, we had the administration come through that went through, and I said, well, I'm not going to focus my energy on being a part of something that's not even building equity for our local community, especially people of color. And that's why I pulled out. But not once has Boca offered to pay local artists unless they're organizing, and even though the fees have been minimal. And on top of that, the first year, not one Santa Ana artist was invited. Not one Santa Ana writer was invited.
That's absolute. We have the numbers of all the local artists who participated every single year. Local writers. We can share the numbers of all the local writers.
Year, there was no local writers invited. UD went out of invitation from the writers that were invited from Los Angeles.
We actually had every space paired, just as we spoke about in the very beginning, with both local and non-local writers. And I can show you, because we have every single name and every single number. We've actually tracked that. But I do want to also say that you said that you decided not to be a part of it the first year. I never knew any of the things that you just shared, because I had a letter from you the first year when you dropped out that talked about the Trump administration causing you to drop out of many different things. So I've never been shared with, it's never been shared with me that your actual reason for not
how to get funding for writers. I shared poets and writers. I said, even if the fee is $25, that's what you can give them, right? Like I shared all that at the 3 meetings that I attended.
Actually, you did share an amazing access opportunity where local businesses can sign up with poets and writers. So for instance, Alta Baja Market, and that's something that we've been working on developing over the past 3 to 4, I mean, it's been 5 years now, but this year because of COVID, we had to go digital. But the thing is that we are hoping that we do have funded spaces throughout downtown. So as this process from day one, which is the inception of a program, to now, which is very different, we have been working to make sure that every single thing in this program is funded, but it takes time. And I've raised all those dollars myself for us to even be able to pay from day one. I remember you asking in the first meeting, how is this going to be paid for? And I told you we had 2 grants, one from my board and one from the city, which was $10,000. And that first year we were surprised to already have 15 venues filled with artists and also 2,500 students in our downtown. So from us going from there to today, where almost every single person in our thing is paid, the only person who is unpaid is when a curator brings a group of 5 people. We need to set up systems so that every single venue in our downtown has a funding structure to be able to pay every single artist. And that is an ultimate goal that will be achieved in our business council, but that takes work and time. And I just want to let you know that I would like, as I gave you an opportunity to sell books in this festival, I've given you an opportunity to participate in this festival, and I still give you the opportunity to participate. I know you have your own festival, which is also beautiful, and that's great, and I'm very supportive of that. And I just want you to know that I have never had any problem with anything that you do, but I've heard attack after attack, year after year. And I'd like that to stop because it's untrue. And
well, one way that we can stop that is if it's about supporting local businesses and supporting local artists, then let's shift the money to Libro Bliss Arts Festival that does that, right? We focus solely on local artists. We do bring outsiders, but it's 50-50. And we make sure that everybody that presents gets a stipend.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, can you tell me again, you said that you would like Santa Ana Business Council to shift its funding to Libremobile?
For Boca de Oro, right? Not it's all its funding.
So when I go out and raise money,
festival in the city that's by and for, why not focus on that?
So you want me to raise money for you?
No, you don't have to raise money, but effort.
That's what I do in order to do this festival. So I raise money.
Why have 2 festivals?
I'm not sure. Why did you start a second festival after we started the first?
Because I have a business in downtown that focuses on by and for, right? So I prioritize local artists, local Black, Indigenous, people of color, libros en español para la gente que habla español. So that is.
I think that that's excellent, Sarah. I think it's great. The thing is that This festival is a regional festival. You serve a local audience as well as people throughout the region with barrio writers. And the thing is, your business is here all the time, which makes it sustainable in time always. Our festival's only once a year. And the thing is that
free programming all year round.
Okay. I know that I've spoken for a long time. I'd love our board to say anything that they want to, because I've explained, I believe, what.
May I say something?
Yes.
May I say, Sara, how are you? This is Claudia. I just wanted to mention, if you as a business, as a downtown business, have a program like that, you can ask Santana Business Council for some kind of a sponsorship. You just need to present it to us in a board meeting, then we discuss it, and by the next board meeting, we tell you our decision. And it is based on you telling us what exactly you want us to do, and how much money do you need from us, or you need to tell us your whole schedule of the program or the festival that you're coming up with, and then we'll tell you with how much we can sponsor you. That's why we exist as an organization. But if we don't know that you need help, that's exactly what we want. We will love. Let me tell you an example where we are a sponsorship in some way, not all the thing for the first bridal show. We don't pay the whole thing. We just sponsor part of it, but that's what we're for. If the restaurants want to do something, we can sponsor them. If Eddie Quillares wants to bring tamaladas, we sponsor him. Again, not the whole amount of the festival. We cannot do that because our money, it's very limited, but we can distribute. Like for instance, something is coming up in the downtown, like Noche de Altares with Centro Cultural. We have been always sponsors for them. Frida Cinema wants to bring the 7 days filming festival for something very special. We sponsor that, and we can sponsor your thing, whatever it is called. We can sponsor that, Sara. We are there for you. We just need to know that you need that, and you need to come to us and explain us what you need. That's what we do. We cannot advertise a business in particular, but if you are doing something for the community in the downtown, then we're there for you. That's what we exist. We would love more people like you to come and tell us, hey, we want to do this and that, like the International Women's Day. They always come to us. They get a small sponsorship every year, but they do it. And they have to raise their money some other ways, the rest of the money that they need, of course, but they know that they can count on us. And we already have festivals or things that other people are doing, as long as they're being done, locally. We already have set aside year by year the amount of money that we will sponsor them. So the door is open, Sara.
Gracias, Claudia. I do plan to be more active with these meetings, and I would also like to be considered to join the board.
Sure. We'd love to.
I am not all that familiar with the different festivals, so forgive my ignorance, but I would just say, just in general, that I think the Boca del Oro is in its inception relatively new. It's still evolving. And I would just say that I know that it has been our heart that it would be of benefit to the community. And there's certainly room for improvement, which will be facilitated through more communication. And I think, Sarah, I would just, we appreciate that you would bring your concerns to us. We are certainly wanting to learn and improve, and we value every member of this community immensely. And, we just want to be able to continue to build on our successes, I guess, and look forward to all of that. So that would just be my comment.
Thank you, Kim.
Sarah, this is Raul. I want to thank you for coming and being here on the board meeting today. We'd like to hear all your concerns. We'd like to be part of, we want you to be part of our downtown. And welcome anytime, Sarah. Anytime. Thank you.
If I have another concern, do I wait during public comments if it's not addressing anything that was already spoken to?
Yes.
I think one of our police officers.
Oh yeah,
make comment.
Okay, yeah. Is he there, Julie?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, Joe, good morning. How are you? Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. So people that don't know me in the board, Joe Castellanos. I'm the military liaison for the department. And one of the concerns that came up was the loading zones. Okay, there's people that are parking their cars there for a longer period of time. And especially with all this construction, that's going to be, limited is for loading and offloading. So I just wanted to inform all of you that, we are going to be enforcing that. It's roughly about 3 minutes to load, like Uber, park, load and offload, about 3 minutes. And it's up to 20 minutes to load any kind of a merchandise or something, but it's got to be continuous during that time. So you cannot just park, offload, and come back, 20 minutes later to pick up your car, if that makes sense. So especially when they start closing down 4th Street, a lot of the deliveries are going to be done on the alley. We have to keep those alleys clear. I think I heard that earlier, for safety. It could be a fire truck, it could be law enforcement that going through. And sometimes, it's a life and death situation where we have to get through the alleys to a location, and it's going to be difficult. If the cars or vehicles is blocking the alleys, they can be towed. If the tow truck comes over, it hooks up to a vehicle, that owner is going to be responsible for the drop fee from the tow truck. Okay, so again, we need everybody's cooperation. The loading zone is going to be precious parking, to be able to do what you have to do. So I'll just ask for everybody, do the right thing, park. And the hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So between those hours, this rules apply. If you park after 6 p.m., you can park there longer than your 20 minutes. But in the morning, 7 a.m., again, those rules will apply. Anybody have any questions?
Not me, Joe. Not me.
I don't have questions, but I do want to add to that, Officer Castellanos, that when construction starts on 4th Street, there will be a reroute of delivery trucks into the alleyways for loading and unloading. But we will be very strict with those loading and unloading, and they can't block the alley, as you had mentioned. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Thank you.
Yes, and we will work with everybody, but again, it's just only me there on certain days and times, and it's going to be difficult to get around. So we do need the cooperation from everybody. That's all I have.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for your time, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I want to thank Madeline for putting the letter together to the city manager, and also Kim for helping us also. Thank you. It was very nice of you to, we as a group, we worked together to make sure that the letter was sent to the city manager. Thank you.
Raul, I'm just curious to know is it the letter for the 1 hour grace, or what letter was that?
This was a letter to the city manager about, the city manager asked us to put a list of things that we needed in the downtown. Yeah, that was the letter for.
For the Revive Santa Ana funding.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
thanks
welcome.
for letting me know.
Yeah, you're welcome, sure. Any more comments? Any more public comments?
I have some. So Libromobile has partnered with Orange County Public Libraries to start the Poet Laureate programs across the county. And we are looking for our first ever Orange County statewide poet laureate adult that's over 19 years old. And our applications are on our website, as well as a youth poet laureate. And we have partnered with Urban Word, who is the National Youth Poet Laureate Program. So the same folks that, you know, helped nurture and elevate Amanda Gorman's voice to the public, we have partnered with them. So I do have a virtual flyer, and we do have the application on our website under the Arts and Culture tab. So it would be great if we can get the word out about that to our everyone in Santa Ana, but also across the county, so that we can honor our first poet laureates in August. And there are stipends for their programming. However, that amount hasn't been disclosed because we want the incentive to be the work of the community and poetry rather than how much they're getting paid. So any questions for that can just be either referenced to myself at Libromobile or David Lopez at Orange County Public Libraries. And then another thing is, one of the things that reasons that I've hesitated in the past to be part of these spaces is because often they're not bilingual. And, you know, I grew up in Santa Ana, and for me, you know, having things accessible in diverse languages is extremely important. I know it's really difficult sometimes and challenging, especially with technology, to do, but I do have resources in my own community to interpreters who have a plethora of experience in dealing with virtual meetings, conducting them bilingually, as well as in-person meetings. So I do plan to attend these meetings regularly now. I am happy to announce that I have had a hard time over the years to sustain myself in Orange County as an artist, as an educator. So I've spent my whole time going back and forth the last, you know, at least 10 or 20 years. But now I will be settling in Santa Ana, and I do feel that making sure that these meetings are bilingual so that they're equitable to the long-term businesses downtown is something that I would like to advocate for. And even if it means that I'm in charge of it to make sure that it happens, I'm happy to do that as well.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Any more comments?
Well, Sarah, I think that's a great idea. And, you know, we're just happy to have your help and your enthusiasm, your ideas and energy, and how exciting about the Poet Laureate. That's Amanda Gorman is just, we've got, you know, it's just so exciting to open up the beauty of poetry and how it moves us and builds us together as a community. So we're thrilled to have you, and wonderful ideas. Thank you.
Okay, any more comments?
I would just like to ask a question. Sarah, if we wanted to get the information, especially about the Youth Poet Laureate, to distribute to our students in Santa Ana Unified, could I just, how best is it to reach you?
Oh, it's all the information's on our website. You can even download the application. Okay. And then I will be doing an info session with Museo within the next month. The deadline is July 15th, but as I've been teaching this whole time, so it's been really hard to pull away and do other stuff, but I'm no longer teaching. This is my last week of turning in grades. So after this week, I'm pretty flexible to do info sessions for folks. On top of that, we have body writers every year. We've had it, this will be our 13th summer. And so Body Writers has registration available as well. That one's a little different because it goes through the program director, but Body Writers will be in August too. So if you're interested in getting the information and having an info session for a particular group, I would actually just present both programs, the Poet Laureate program as well as Body Writers program. And this summer, Body Writers will again be on Zoom, so it's a lot more accessible to folks.
That's great. So is that those are all to youth, right? Ages?
Yeah, the youth program is 13 to 19 for the Poet Laureate, and then Body Writers is 13 to 21.
Okay, just with a note that the school ends on June 14th. I'm sorry, June 4th. We do have summer school happening until July 16th, but I just want to be able to activate some information to the teachers who may be gone. So I'll work on getting that information out as soon as possible. That's very exciting, and thank you for doing that work.
Would you mind putting it in the chat so that people have access to your site?
Yes. I'll put it in right now.
Well, I want to thank you everybody for your time and being on this meeting. I want to tell everybody that on the bottom of the page, there's the rest of the meetings that we have for the rest of the year. It's listed there, so everybody knows. And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you, Ro.
You're welcome. Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Mario. How are you?